Some players step into the NFL ready for all the smoke. They are an elite group that changed the entire direction of their franchise from the minute they're drafted. Yeah, guys like Brady and Rodgers are defying father time. But today, we're talking about the younger players that are tearing the league up. Here are the best players in the NFL at every position under the age of 25. Quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Do you know how many NFL MVPs in the world are under 25 years old? Just one, Lamar Jackson. Despite the flack he got, first as a quote-unquote limited passer, and secondly as unable to win big games early in his career, there isn't a more dynamic signal caller in the league. The all-time greatest dual-threat QB is just getting started. Before Action Jackson hit the league, only one QB had ever hit 1,000 yards rushing in a season, Michael Vick. Jackson has already done it twice. The second unanimous MVP ever, threw for 36 TDs and ran for 7 more in 2019. In 2020, he won his first playoff game. There really is no slowing down Lamar. Hot on his heels are two other young gunslingers. 2020 Rookie of the Year Justin Herbert broke almost every rookie passing record and is on a meteoric rise to the best in the business. Out in the desert, Kyler Murray has become one of the most special players in the NFL. He bettered all of the stats that won him Rookie of the Year in 2019 and scored a ridiculous 37 total touchdowns in 2020. Running back, Saquon Barkley. Far too many have forgotten what Saquon Barkley did to the league in 2018. As a rookie, he had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. That led the entire league. In 2019, despite battling injury and only playing 13 games, he was still a 1,000-yard rusher. After 3 seasons, Saquon is just 24. If you're one of those guys saying, he'll never be the same, don't forget guys like Fred Taylor or Dalvin Cook, who both had injury issues early in their careers and were fantastic after. At the end of the day, you can't keep great players from being great. Don't be surprised if Saquon comes back with a vengeance in 2021. Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor are a couple other young backs that deserve a mention. Jacobs has been excellent through his first 2 seasons, rushing for over 1,000 yards in each year and bowling over defenders to the tune of 12 rushing touchdowns in 2020. Jonathan Taylor, at just 22, burst onto the scene as a rookie with the Colts. Against the Jags, he etched himself into the record books, rushing for 253 yards in a single game. Good enough for a top 10 all-time performance. That put him over 1,100 yards for the season and 12 scores. Wide receiver, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is doing things we've never seen. He's Megatron reincarnated and is becoming a better receiver by the day. Yeah, he had 1,300 yards at just 23, breaking Seahawks great Steve Largent's franchise record. But it's more than that when we talk about Metcalf. In the biggest moments, he rises to the occasion. In his first playoff game, he torched the Eagles for an all-time rookie record of 160 receiving yards. His career high came the next time they played the Eagles, another 177 yards on the book. Metcalf is the biggest and strongest receiver in the league, and is somehow still among the fastest. We're talking about a guy that runs down people from 20 yards back, a guy that at 230 pounds ran a 10.6 in the 100-meter. They just don't make him like DK Metcalf. Now imagine having to cover him and our honorable mention at the same time. That was the SEC when A.J. Brown and DK were at Ole Miss together. Brown has over 1,000 yards in each of his first 2 seasons and has already caught 20 touchdown passes. We really can't mention young studs without Justin Jefferson, who broke a rookie receiving record that stood for 17 years. He bested Anquan Bolden and Randy Moss's rookie marks, just to put in perspective how dominant Jefferson was as a rookie. Tight end, TJ Hockenson. Hockenson's rookie year was taken by injury, but this past year, TJ showed why the Lions selected him with the 8th overall pick. We don't know if he's a better blocker or receiver, but we can tell you this. He's really good at both. With just 1 full year under his belt, he already catapulted himself into the top 5 tight ends in the world, and he's putting his name next to some of the game's elite. With Goff in tow, Hockenson will be counted on to be the Lions' spark again, as he looks to add to his 723-yard, 6-touchdown campaign in 2020. If Goff can get back on track, we could be talking about TJ Hockenson in the upper echelon of tight ends in the NFL. Offensive line, Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs comes from the long line of dominant Iowa offensive linemen, and he might just be the best. The Bucs stole him with the 13th pick, plugging him in at the right tackle spot, and ran behind him on their way to a Super Bowl championship. When he wasn't road grading defenders, he was keeping the GOAT squeaky clean. Tom Brady rarely worried about pressure in his face. Wirfs' pass blocking for a rookie was unheard of. In 700 snaps, he allowed one single sack. PFF ranked him the second best right tackle in the entire league, making him an all-pro O-lineman at just 22 years old. He's a cornerstone for the Bucs and will be a household name in the NFL for years to come. Defensive line, Quinn Williams. Those calling Quinn Williams a bust after his rookie season are real quiet right now. While they eat crow, I'll tell you just how good Quinn Williams was in 2020. In just 13 games, the Jets' former third overall pick had 55 tackles and sacked the QB 7 times. His 7 sacks were third among all defensive tackles last year, putting him next to guys like Chris Jones and DeForest Buckner, otherwise referred to as the best D tackles in football. Quinn Williams was just that, an absolute nuisance to block, move, or keep out of the backfield, and he's only scratching the surface. Being the factory they are, our honorable mention is another Alabama D tackle in Deron Payne. Williams' predecessor is an absolute problem at nose tackle. Payne is the anchor of Washington's run defense and eats double teams for guys like Jonathan Allen and Chase Young to make plays on arguably the best D-line in football. Edge rusher, Nick Bosa. We go from Bama boys to Buckeyes. Defensive line coach Larry Johnson guides a top pick every year from Ohio State, and Nick Bosa is as special as they come. His rookie season, he had 9 sacks and 25 QB hits on his way to winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. In a league that usually takes time to develop edge rushers, Bosa exploded early. Similar to his older brother Joey, Nick doesn't have any holes in his game. The perfect blend of power, speed, and technique. Nick Bosa can do it all. He's healthy and just 23, so watch out. There's another Ohio State standout that has every QB in the league looking over their shoulder. Washington took Chase Young 2nd overall in last year's draft, a monster that makes other monsters look like mere mortals. As a rookie, he racked up 7.5 sacks and a Rookie of the Year award. But if pure speed is your style, you'll love Carolina's Brian Burns. He burns tackles off the edge with bend like we've never seen before, making it look easy for 16.5 career sacks in just 2 years. Linebacker, Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a first-team All-Pro linebacker for the 49ers, which is appropriate because he's the best inside linebacker in all of football. He's as smart as he is athletic, running sideline to sideline and beating the ball carrier where he's supposed to go. If his 367 tackles in 3 years aren't good enough, he can cover tight ends with ease, making him irreplaceable in today's NFL. Warner just has an uncoachable instinct to his game, but there are backers coming for his top spot. In one of the clutchest defensive playoff performances in the NFL's history, Devin White is a huge reason the Bucs won a championship. He posted the 3 best tackling performances in Tampa history in his first 3 postseason games. White is the modern-day linebacker, able to do everything. In just 2 seasons, he has 231 tackles, 9 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. Cornerback, Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander is the NFL's resident shutdown corner. Teams shouldn't try 23 anymore. In this past season, he put together a year that has some calling him the best cover corner in football. He allowed only 353 receiving yards on 600 plays of coverage. Jair neutralized the likes of Amari Cooper easily, eliminating a complete side of the field at times. At just 24, he's getting compared to Jalen Ramsey weekly. Who's the best corner in the NFL? We'll leave that up to the crowd, but Jair is definitely the best under 25. Another standout in the NFC North, Denzel Ward, isn't too far off him. Ward has 7 picks in his career and is a threat to take them to the house every time. This past year, he averaged over 1 pass defended a game, finishing 2nd in the entire league. He's one of the best coverage players in the NFL, making it impossible to move the ball on Cleveland's defense. Safety, Minkah Fitzpatrick. First, Minkah was pretty damn good as a Dolphin, but when the Steelers got him, he became the best safety in football. In the past 2 seasons, he's picked off 9 passes, and he's taking them to the house, scoring each year he's been in the league. He can do everything. Come down and hit, man up your slot receivers, cover your tight ends, play middle of the field, force the run. His presence completely changed the Steelers, allowing them to be more aggressive and bring a barrage of blitzes. With Minkah heading the secondary, Blitzburg is back. A safety we have to mention, because nobody else will, is Jesse Bates III. He's a guaranteed 3 picks and 100-plus tackles a year as the most underrated defender in football. Bates lives where the pigskin is. His playmaking finally got noticed this past season when he was named a second-team All-Pro safety, putting him among the best where he deserves to be.